Norfolk.
I'm going to tell you a story about a trickster. Y'all know what a trickster is? It's someone who uses their brain to solve their problems, but they often get in trouble for it. Now, this trickster is Ananci the spider. He comes from the Ashanti people of Africa. And when the Ashanti people tell his stories, they say, don't act like Ananci. You'll see why. Now, Ananci the spider loved to eat, but his very favorite food wasn't what you would think. He liked all kinds of food. He liked pizza, and he liked hamburgers, and he liked hot dogs, and he liked french fries, and he liked ice cream, but his favorite thing was vegetables. The problem was, in the village where he lived, if you wanted vegetables, you had to plant them in your own garden and do all that work. And Ananci did not like to work. He was lazy. He didn't want to do anything except eat. So, he started thinking, because he was a trickster. He thought and he thought and he thought and he thought and he thought. And he came up with a plan. He started looking at everybody else's gardens. Let me see. You've got bugs in your garden? No. You never water your garden. It's dry and brown. You got weeds in your garden. But there was a garden that was perfect. No bugs, no weeds, everything had been watered. It was juicy and beautiful, and everything looked delicious. So, Ananci found out that that garden belonged to an old woman. Now, she was special. Not only did she have a great garden, but she was called the Dancing Granny. She was called the Dancing Granny because every time she heard music, her fingers started snapping, her toes started tapping, and she started dancing. Well, Ananci found out all about her, and so he had a plan. He waited until everything looked delicious and nutritious in that garden. And one morning he crawled up into the tree that looked over the garden, and he waited. Granny came out of the house, started watering her plants, sang a little song. I like to eat. I like to eat apples and bananas. I like to eat. I like to eat apples and bananas. As soon as Granny heard that, as Ananci heard that sound, he said, Granny, I'm going to sing a song for you. He said, why don't you dance? And so Granny listened, and it went like this. He danced to the east and danced to the west, danced to the one that you like the best. So Granny started dancing. Everybody up and dance. Yes, Granny, please. Come on. Oh, we need everybody to dance. She danced to the east and danced to the west, danced to the one that she loved the best. Go Granny, go Granny, go Granny, go Granny. Well, she was so tired, she fell down in the grass. But Ananci was not tired because he had not moved a muscle. He came down out of his tree, boom, and he pulled up all the carrots in his garden and made carrot cake for dinner. He was happy. Granny was not. She came home and found she had holes where she was supposed to have carrots. The next morning, Ananci was back up in the tree when Granny came out, started picking bugs off the plants, singing a little song. I like to oat, I like to oats and bananas. I like to oot. I like to oats and bananas. As soon as she got up under that tree, Ananci called out, jump up, Granny, jump up. Everybody up, jump up, Granny, jump up. Turn around, Granny, turn around. Turn around, Granny, turn around. Put your hands in the air, wave like you just don't care. And step to the east and step to the west. Step to the one that you love. Go Granny, go Granny, go Granny, go Granny. And he took him home and had sweet potato pie. He was happy. Granny wasn't happy. She came home and found more holes in her garden where she was supposed to have sweet potatoes. But now Granny was pretty smart herself. And she said, you know what? That's that Ananci the spider doing this to me. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm smarter than any spider that ever lived. You see if I'm not. So that night she thought and she thought and she thought and she came up with her own plan. The next morning she came out. She started picking weeds out of the garden. I like to eat. I like to eat. What's in your knees? I like to was in my eyes. As soon as she was up under that tree, Ananci called out, jump up, Granny, jump up. Everybody up. Jump up, Granny, jump up. Turn around, Granny, turn around. Turn around, Granny, turn around. Put your hands in the air. But this time, when she had her hands in the air, she used them to grab hold of Ananci. She held on tight. She yanked him down out of that tree. She said, you like to dance? Fine. Let's dance. She danced to the east and danced to the west. Danced to the army that she loved the best. Go Granny, go Granny, go Granny. Ananci had never danced in his life. He was so tired he fell down. Crisscross, 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 crisscross. Applesauce on the ground. Woo! He couldn't move, but Granny wasn't tired. She was used to dancing. She danced on home. She gathered all the vegetables out of her garden, had a great big feast for everybody in the village, except Ananci. And she lived happily